Welcome to Pages and Partners, a Muncie Public Library podcast. Discover the library through our history, buildings, staff, programs, and partnerships. Join us as we explore what makes Muncie Public Library an important part of our community.
Thank you for joining us for Pages and Partners, a Muncie Public Library podcast where we connect our community with the people, programs, and stories that make Muncie special. I'm Gabby Sandefer, Great Achievers Supervisor, and my guest today is Kathryn Hirons Kesterson. Kathryn is here to talk to us about Constitution Week, which takes place each year from September 17th to the 23rd and is sponsored nationally by the Daughters of the American Revolution, also known as DAR. So thank you so much for joining us, Kathryn. We're really excited to have you today. So to start us off, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Well, yes, I am Kathryn Hirons Kesterson. Kathryn Kesterson. I retired from teaching Spanish, multicultural education, applied linguistics, yes. But to get us to DAR, I'm a sixth-generation Delaware County descendant through my dad, Jack Hirons, and I always loved hearing my grandmother's stories, and she was a wonderful storyteller, and those connections to my lineage. So I began documenting them, and when she passed in 2008, I fell hard into genealogy, and so that transitioned me out of teaching in the classroom into becoming a professional genealogist. In fact, I have a business here in Muncie, Who's Your Kin? But that also led me to finding my own lineage to many Revolutionary War patriots. And
that's so cool.
And it is.
That's
it's fantastic.
So cool.
It is really cool. And ultimately, it led me to join the Daughters of the American Revolution and finding out what that was all about. And I'm currently the regent of the Paul Revere Chapter here in Delaware County.
That is wonderful. I love that you were able to, during a time of, great loss, connect more to your family history. I think that's really beautiful. I've been interested in genealogy myself, so I might have to hit you up about Who's Your Kin, because I'm very curious.
Who's Your Kin?
Kin, okay.
It's a play on words. Who is your kin?
I love that.
And then Who's Your Kin? It's not just about who's here in Indiana, but it was too great of a play on words.
No, that's fantastic.
So that's what I went with.
I love that.
And I love it.
Yeah. Well, if you guys see me doing genealogy, just mind your own business. I'm working. But so for those who may not be familiar, what is the Daughters of the American Revolution and what does your organization do? Because I'm very familiar with your organization. You've done a lot of...
You are becoming more familiar, aren't you?
I am. But, just for the folks who may not know, what's your elevator pitch for it?
Okay. Well, DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, it's a nonprofit, non-political, volunteer women's service organization. Founded in 1890.
Wow.
Now, the headquarters are in Washington, D.C. We're dedicated to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, securing America's future through better education for children. DAR members volunteer millions of service hours annually in their local communities. We award thousands of dollars in scholarships. We support active duty military personnel. We assist veteran patients. We do financial aid each year to students. We also support schools for underserved students with annual donations exceeding over $1 million. We've got over 130 years of tradition. More than 1 million members have been admitted since our founding. We have a vast array of service work, historical headquarters building, the national in D.C., Notice I'm pointing. I don't know what direction Washington, D.C. is. We have extraordinary collections. Countless activities take place locally, nationally, and globally. There's a lot to learn about the National Daughters of the American Revolution.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And I just want to shout out locally, the DAR chapter actually supports Great Achievers and has since I have started at Great Achievers. They have donated, we have a community closet that we've started, and our specific Paul Revere DAR chapter has donated all sorts of hygiene items, gloves, hair care products. I mean, you name it, we've received it from you guys. So I want to give them a little shout out that we are actually at Great Achievers, one of the places that has received some of those donations, and they are utilized by our children. So thank you guys a lot for that. When you were mentioning the donations and volunteering and service, I was like, we're one of those locations. So it makes my heart really happy. And I love that you guys are founded on like a stewardship principle. I think
absolutely. And that's one of the ways that we do serve here locally, and we use that in October for our day of service. But that is one of the ways that we serve.
It's just amazing.
And it's with a joyful heart that we do that. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love to hear that. I think the best way to connect with your community is to go out there and make it a better place, is what I've always thought. So thank you guys for all the great work you're doing. So, kind of pivoting into Constitution Week. Mm-hmm. So what is Constitution Week, and why is it important to recognize and celebrate? Because some people might think, oh, that's just an old document. Why do we need to see that? So what would your counter argument be? Why is Constitution Week important?
Well, it's the United States Constitution, and it's our most important document. It stands as a testament to the tenacity of Americans throughout history to maintain their liberties. It's for everybody. It maintains our liberties, our freedoms, our inalienable rights. So Constitution Week is celebrated annually during the week of September 17th through the 23rd. Those dates it's always those dates, no matter where they fall.
Oh, that's easy for folks to remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those dates are always the same. And it commemorates its history, its importance, and it's meant to bring attention to how it still serves today. So the celebration of the Constitution was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution, by DAR, and that was in 1955. DAR petitioned Congress to set aside those days of September 17th through the 23rd annually to be dedicated for that observation of Constitution Week. Now, that resolution was later adopted by U.S. Congress and signed into public law on August 2nd, 1956.
Women get stuff done.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's right.
I love that.
Exactly.
Women get stuff done a whole week for the Constitution. And that's a quick turnaround in the years that they presented it versus got it in action, which means there was a lot of passion behind that.
Exactly. So it was presented in 1955, and then Eisenhower signed it into law on August 2nd, 1956. Mm-hmm. Now, there are three aims of Constitution Week. First and foremost, it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One is to emphasize citizens' responsibility for protecting and defending the Constitution.
I like that you said defending there, too. I think people don't realize that document's for us. Mm-hmm. It's not just for lawmakers or for people in D.C. Sorry, Max, my brother lives in D.C. and is involved in the political world, so anytime I make a D.C. thing, I'm like, hey, Max. But, I think that's a really important thing. That document's for us. It's not just for the people. And they work for us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, we the people. Yep. That's how the document starts. That's
exactly.
the preamble.
Yep, they're representing us.
And secondly, to inform people that the Constitution is the basis for America's great heritage and the foundation for our way of life. It's a living document. And thirdly, to encourage the study of the historical events which led up to the framing of the Constitution in September of 1787. This year will be the 238th year. Wow. Its birthday, so 238. We're going into...
It's a lot of candles on a cake.
That is. We're going into America 250.
Yeah.
But the Constitution didn't come about until 238 years. So, yes. So, the Declaration is 250. The Constitution is 238.
That's wonderful.
Right.
When I visited D.C., I've got to see both of those documents. Yeah. And there is something so, awe-inspiring about being by such old texts and knowing that it's the foundation for where you stand. I also got to see the Bill of Rights recently when I went to New York. It's at the New York Public Library, and that was really fascinating. There's something really cool about coming face to face with your history and seeing it still in action today. I think it's a really kind of beautiful thing. The archivist in me gets really excited seeing those documents and stuff.
So speaking of the Bill of Rights, the Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Yeah. So speaking of it being a living document, it needed amendments. Yeah. Okay. There are a total of 27 amendments. The most recent amendment was in 1992. So constantly we're working towards that, and this is one of the children's books that we're looking at. We're working towards that more perfect union that is spoken of in the preamble to the Constitution. It's something that we're constantly holding, we should be holding, those elected officials to.
Yes.
That we're constantly working towards that more perfect union. But the Bill of Rights were those first 10 amendments to the Constitution.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, it was really neat to see. It's in like a big glass container, or not container, but like a display case, and you go up to it, and it's way bigger than you think it would be, too. It is a large piece of paper.
It's a weighty document in many ways.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that. Are there any special programs or events planned during Constitution Week here in our community in Muncie or in nearby areas?
I'm so glad you asked. Yes, there are. So September 17th, which is the start of Constitution Week, and it is also Constitution Day.
Oh, perfect.
Isn't that perfect? At Maureen Hunt Library, we do have an adult activity, an event at 6 p.m. The Paul Revere Chapter invites the community to come. We do have a guest speaker. Dr. Nicole Etchison from Ball State University is going to be speaking on revising the work of the founders.
Wonderful.
The reconstruction era of the Constitution amendments. So the title of her presentation is Revising the Work of the Founders, the Reconstruction Era Constitution Amendments.
And what date is that again?
That is September 17th, Constitution Day,
Wonderful.
at 6 p.m. at Maureen Hunt Library. So she's going to explore and invites us to be a part of that discussion, the Reconstruction Amendments, which were right after the Civil War.
Yeah.
Those are the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment. And she shares that the Civil War caused Americans to believe that the founders had been imperfect, that their work had been imperfect. So they revised. Remember, it's a living document. They revised.
Humans are imperfect, you know? So you
we're
can't.
all flawed, that's right.
So, as we change and grow as a society, we're going to have different societal needs. And I don't think that's a failure on the part of, I think that's actually a positive America, is that we're always willing to keep growing and changing depending on what our society needs.
Exactly. So they revised the Constitution by adding amendments to free enslaved people, granting them citizenship and rights, including the right to vote. So what did those post-Civil War, that Civil War generation, why did they write those 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments? And that's what her presentation is going to be about. Why were they written? What was the impact during that era? As well as following into their consequences and how they resonate today. We got the 15th Amendment. It gave the right to vote for certain men, but not the right to vote for women.
Yeah, that took a little bit longer to get there, didn't it?
Yeah. So yes, thought-provoking educational evening as we reflect on that continuing evolution for our founding principles for our nation.
Yeah, that's not going to be an event to miss. That's going to be, that sounds really exciting and very thought-provoking, like you were saying. I'm really looking forward to that.
Inspiring as well.
Yeah.
But there will be light refreshments that evening.
So you can get some treats while you learn a bit.
Provided by West Wellington. She provided the cookies last year at the event that Dr. Wheeler spoke at last year at Kennedy.
Yeah.
But additionally, throughout the span of Constitution Week and the month of September, we are also coordinating with you. There are going to be after-school programming events for the children. And I'm really excited about that as well there at Maureen Hunt, including an event with Mark and Janet Krebs with the Patriot Box, along with the Sons of the American Revolution.
We are so excited
Some
about
hands-on activities.
The Patriot Box.
Yes.
For those of you at home that may not know what that is, The Patriot Box is a box that has all sorts of manipulatives and costumes and different things that the students can actually look at, touch, and see. They are recreations, so it's not like they're going to be playing with actual,
correct. Yes.
actual things. It's all recreations, but it's a great way. If you don't work with children, children love hands-on things. They tend to learn best that way. I will argue that humans learn best that way, but it is a great way to have children actually visualize the history that is being talked about. So we are so excited to welcome you. We're also planning on doing a Make Your Own Constitution event where we're going to work on dyeing paper, and the children are going to write their own constitutions just to get them excited about their history, about these documents, that they are more than just a piece of paper. They're a way for you to, watch your country keep expanding and growing. So
Absolutely. And we talked about some spy activities in
Yes.
Washington's Culper Ring. Some other things, some passive activities, along with some coloring pages and a contest, but that introduced some short biographies that highlight some of the well-known patriots, but also some of the diverse patriots that might not be as well-known. Some of the women, the Native Americans, the African Americans, that were very important as part of our foundational story in our independence. And
I just love that you guys are highlighting some of our, heroes that may not be sung as much. I just think that is so powerful to be like, no, we have lots of different patriots from different walks of life. I just really want to celebrate that. I think that's a really wonderful thing that the DAR does. I'm really excited to learn those stories as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're also working with recommended reading opportunities throughout the month. We'll be highlighting those, and one of the books is A More Perfect Union by Betsy and Julio Maestro, Understanding the Bill of Rights by Sally Senzal Isaacs. Another book, I don't have it with me, but We're Writing the Constitution is another one, but we'll have some recommended reading opportunities. So it's not just about the adults.
Yeah.
We're bringing in the children as well, learning the preamble. So it's going to be an exciting month in September, not just the week of Constitution Week, but the month of September throughout.
I had to memorize the preamble when I was in school, and I actually still have a good amount of it in my head. I'm not going to do it for the folks at home. Maybe that'll be like an extra for you guys. Who knows? But I can do a decent amount of it still, which is crazy to think about. But it is good to know.
So we the people,
in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, and promote the general welfare,
and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity,
to
ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Yay! I had some of it.
You had a lot of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to thank my Mrs. Fagan, my history teacher in middle school, for having me learn the preamble and all the different things we had. Shout out Perry Meridian Middle School. Appreciate y'all.
That's fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Very important thing to know. I don't know. I just think that your history and where you, the steps that it took to get to where you are now are important things to acknowledge and know. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we have some really great events planned. You can see those events also on the Muncie Public Library calendar. So be sure to check those out. If you have any questions, you can call whatever your preferred branch is, and the info services desk can also get you that information. So what is one thing that you hope people take away from attending these programs?
Just one?
You can say multiple. I won't stop you.
Okay. So no matter their age, no matter the event, I hope that they're inspired to learn more about themselves, about the Constitution, about this beautiful nation that we're blessed to be in, and that they take an active part to be a part of it and to protect it. So, for over 2 centuries, the Constitution has remained in force because its framers, not perfect, their framers successfully separated and balanced governmental powers. to safeguard the interest of majority rule and minority rights. And yes, we are moving and working constantly towards a more perfect union. But yeah, for liberty and equality in federal and state government. So yeah, I guess a more concise statement, it's about national principles. It's not a detailed plan of governmental operation. But the Constitution, it's evolved to meet those changing needs to a modern society it's profoundly different from that 18th century world that our creators, that its creators, not our creators, but its creators lived in. But yeah, like I said earlier, it's been amended.
Yeah.
Not over 27 times, but 27 times, most recently in 1992. Those first 10 amendments being the Bill of Rights. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love the way you phrased that too. Thank you. I got a good feeling after you said that. It made me feel very patriotic. I feel like I need to go beat on a drum. I don't know. Rah, rah, America. So if someone is interested in learning more about DAR or getting involved, where should they go and who should they contact?
Well, nationally, you can go to dar.org/join, or you can contact us locally at paulreveremuncie@gmail.com. We also have an active Facebook page at DAR Paul Revere Chapter Muncie. We're pretty easy to find on Facebook. And those would be 3 ways to find out.
Great. Mm-hmm. Simple to the point. I like that. And then finally, is there anything else that you would like our listeners to know about the DAR or the work that you're doing?
Well, since you asked, locally, Paul Revere, with Service to America goals, we've constantly been exceeding those goals. And as a group, whether it be planting pollinator gardens, restoring the graves of our Revolutionary War patriots here in Delaware County, that's something actively we've been working on this past year. Teaching ESL classes, helping multiple people with lineage research, whether that be helping find their patriot to get connected to the DAR or the SAR, or just in general with lineage research. Helping Afghan women get their driver's license, making prayer shawls, serving meals at the Delaware County Veterans Stand Down, donating time at a food pantry. There are so many different ways to serve. Over the years, we've had a collaboration with Muncie Public Library at multiple locations. Let's see, over the past year, we've collaborated with Muncie Civic Theater with their recent production of 1776. We've also had collaborations with Minnetrista and Emily Kilnbrough with historic preservation projects. But nationally, for over a century, the members of the National Society of Daughters of the American Revolution have dedicated themselves to many projects: historical preservation, education, encouragement of patriotic endeavors. And those goals are just as relevant in today's society as they were when the organization was founded in 1890.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming and talking to us all about this. You know, I'm learning more and more this year about the DAR and exactly what your group does. And I just want to thank you for all of the great things that you're doing for our community. I think this is a very special and important group to have in Delaware County and in Muncie. So thank you and all of the women in your organization for all of the wonderful work that you are doing in our community. And thank you for coming to talk with us today. You were a wealth of knowledge. I think I could sit and talk to you for probably hours and probably learn about 50 new things. So thank you again. We really appreciated it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for working with us.
Wonderful. Well, and in the meantime, everyone, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. And as always, keep reading.
This has been Pages and Partners, a Muncie Public Library podcast. For more information about library events and resources, visit munpl.org.